Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Warhammer Meta Chasers. This is your weekly live tournament show where we run down the biggest and best tournaments of Warhammer 40,000 coming up on your weekend. My name is Paul, your host. I'm joined by Dustin Henshaw.
Hi, everybody.
And Adam Camilleri.
G'day.
I look so out of place. I'm not in the normal setup.
Yeah,
I'm
you're the only one with the real bricks.
Participating in PAX Unplugged.
Yeah, you're in a hotel room. We're in the grandeur of the meta dungeon.
Well, I had to change. This is the light's terrible in here. So anyway, thanks for bearing with us. This is a live show. If you're listening on the podcast aggregators after the fact, thank you very much for putting up with all this stuff and the change of scenery. But we thought it was better we bring you the show. Hope y'all are doing all right in chat. How's everyone doing? Nurgle Matt, welcome everybody in. Andrew Johnson, kind of bummed the event won't be covered that you were going to. That event's list were locked, so we could not cover it. That was Slaneshmus. We certainly don't want to put any undue stress on the tournament organizers, but that's one of the conditions. We got to be able to see what's going on.
Maybe you can tell us if the lists have been submitted yet, because I wouldn't be surprised if people are submit in the morning before the event, just so people can catch that next detachment as it comes out, this evening, whatnot, and possibly spice things up. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's happening for some events this weekend, because it is just such a day-by-day evolution for some factions.
And Dorian, good to see you. I'm calling out some folks in the chat. We do have a live show where we have a great chat community. So if you want to come be a part of that, if you're listening to us after the fact, I'm sure they would also appreciate seeing you. They help keep us honest, tell us cool things about the events going on, help us out with the rules sometimes, and of course, give their thoughts on the meta as well.
Exactly as I thought. Andrew just pointed out, the lists are not due till tomorrow. So they're trying to leave to the very last minute so everyone gets the new hotness.
Next time.
I can respect that.
Absolutely. So we do have three great events, though, to run down. We got the Nations Cup, Feliz Exterminatus 3, and the Fight Before Christmas. I really wish I'd thought of the Fight Before Christmas name.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Seems
40K before Xmas? I don't know. It's not too bad.
Well, anyway, good on them for the name. Hopefully it's a good one. The first one we're going to be talking about is the Nation Cups. That's for Leoben, Austria? Loben?
Yep.
I bet it's Loben.
No, you're
Leoben.
Yeah.
You're first time you're rock solid.
Don't
trust your gut.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
96 players in a 12 nations team event of 8. I believe there are national squads from around Europe that are coming to participate.
Correct. This is one of those 8-player team events in Heartland Europe where a lot of teams send their prospects. So that usually, you'll strap together 2 or 3 of your veterans and then, 4 or 5 of your new bloods and go see how they'll hang, at a semi-national level. It's not quite the international level competition, but it gets your foot in the door, lets you taste the level. So there's, Slovenia, Czechia, Poland's in attendance, a bunch of other national teams, Austria, all these European teams are sending a national squad of varying strength, depending on how serious they want to take this one and how much they want to prep for a WTC in the meta that is going to be buck wild. Even if it was in 2 weeks, it would be buck wild with how much new stuff is coming out.
What new stuff are you referring to specifically? The new, the Grotmus detachments and things like that?
Yeah, Grotmus detachments is I'm assuming shaking things up. We know there's a balanced data set coming. Not sure if it's December or January. Did they say it's coming in December? I don't know.
We don't want to speculate.
In the middle of all these detachments, that's crazy.
It would be wild if they chucked it right in the middle here. But I mean, at a minimum, it's going to be coming sometime in January, most likely. So yeah, could be 6 weeks from now, and the world is on its head again. And I'm on this roller coaster, baby. This roller coaster of the meta.
Hey, can we take a minute to actually appreciate how awesome it is that they can do something as simple as just giving every army another detachment, and it's it's Christmas for everybody,
dude. Yeah. And this is brand new waters for GW because they're giving away a detachment to everybody for free digitally. No dollars, no cents chasing hands. Just enjoy the game. Here's some stuff. And that is real nice. That is very refreshing. And I hope they do it more often.
Loving it. What are we going to see there?
So for the Imperial Super Faction, we are going to see 6 Sisters of Battle, 4 Custodes, 2 AdMech, 8 Astra Militarum, 4 Grey Knights, 2 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 2 Adeptus Astartes, 2 Dark Angels, 1 Space Wolf, 3 Blood Angels, and a Black Templar. Chaos, there's 7 Chaos Space Marines, 2 T-Suns, 4 Death Guard, 2 World Eaters, 5 Demons, 3 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 5 Necrons, 4 Orcs, 5 Tau, and 2 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 9 Tyranids, 4 Jeeves, they're called. Eldar, there's 1 Drukhari and 3 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Tyranids. You have Astartes up here with 9 too.
Yeah, I forgot them. They've got 9 as well, and they're technically
sure. Okay, fine. Take the full win away from the Tyranids. Why don't you, Adam? So Tyranids and Astartes.
Yeah.
He's never listed Astartes before until it came down to
that's true.
Putting them up against Tyranids.
That's true. Yeah, we all know. We all know. Astra Militarum right behind them with 8, and then Chaos Space Marines behind them with 7.
I should have mentioned this, but in a team event, you can't pick the faction more than once per team. So anything above that 50% mark, so 12 teams, anything above 6, is obviously considered a dominant force in that meta, or that the teams feel are going to be strong anchors for their team.
Tyranids at 9.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyranids at 9, Astra Militarum at 8. With the conglomerate of Astartes at 9, no surprises there. Some of the surprises here are Necrons and Tau are the 2 that jumped out to me. Funnily enough, they're on the same numbers as demons. So there's 5 demons, 5 Necrons, 5 Tau. I would have just absolutely assumed there'd be more like 7 Necrons and maybe 6 Tau. But Necrons on the downward slope in the teams format. Maybe that's just because like many others who've had a known build for so long, it kind of has diminishing returns. Like there's no real new spikes.
Hypercrypt, yesterday's news, quote unquote.
Correct. Hypercrypt, so essentially it was 3 months of Canoptic Court, and then it's just been Hypercrypt ever since, 4 months, 5 months of just Hypercrypt, and virtually the same list with minor tweaks as balanced data slates come out. Sorry, MFMs come out for points and stuff. But they're a pretty stable target, and I know of a lot of people who are starting to win games they may have lost, earlier in this edition versus Necrons, just because they've got the critical mass of reps under their belt to get closer and closer and closer every time. Chaos Space Marine numbers are pretty high there, and that's not something that I would have assumed with a lot of perceived nerfs coming with their Accursed Cultist units and the full Horde list getting knocked back, but they're still one of the premium trading units in the game, 5 Legionaries and a Lord, or a Lord with Chosen, plus possibly the best Vindicator in the game at the moment, depending on which detachment you take. In Renegade Raiders, going to AP4 with all that good stuff can get really crazy, especially if you've got Abaddon as well for the double pact and some rerolls. So yeah, I think Chaos Space Marines are a little shining beacon there, which I would not have thought would have such strong numbers, but doing really, really well. We have 1 team for your viewing pleasure, and of course, Poland's here. So we're looking at Poland. It's pretty much. So for those of you who do not know, those of you may be new to the teams format or the international teams format, that being 8 players in WTC terrain, Poland is the most winning nation in the world. They have podiumed more often. They've podiumed more than most of the rest of the world combined, coming in 3rd this year as well. And they won last year, came in 3rd this year. So just in the last 2 years, they've double podiumed. So wanting to have a look at what they're doing, and man, they are brewing there in Poland, because there is some really wonky stuff going on here. First up, we have a Black Templars Righteous Crusaders. So first, as soon as you hear that, you're like, oh no, it's it's Crusader spam, but it is not. They do have some Crusaders though. We have Helbrecht and Grimaldus, an Emperor's Champion, a Terminator Ancient, a Lieutenant and Combi Weapon Lieutenant, 5 Intercessor Ancient. Yeah, you'll see why in a moment. That Terminator Ancient has Tranhouse's Bones, which gives the 5 Feel No Pain. 5 Assault Intercessors, 20 Primaris Crusaders, 5 Infiltrated, 5 Sword Brethren, I'm assuming to go with Helbrecht, and or the Emperor's Champion, depending. 2x5 Scouts, 10 Assault Terminators, and a Land Raider Redeemer, making its way back even at the 200 and ridiculous amount of points that you pay for it now. But it's all about that unit of Assault Terminators. They're going to have a 5 up Feel No Pain, and a bunch, of course, Armor Contempt, 4 wounds, and a 4 up Invulnerable Save. They're pretty much as close as you get to having 10 Deathwing Knights in a unit. While they don't slap as hard, they are pretty fearsome. Next up, we have a Tyranid Crusher Stampede. Got Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant, 10 Gargoyles, 10 Hormigans, a Biovore, 3 Execreens, a Lictor, Maleceptor, a Norn Emissary, Dustin, and 3 Tyrannofexes.
I love that Norns are coming into competitive lists. I love that model.
Me too. So there's a lot of chunk on this and the previous list, and we may see that theme continue. Genestealer Cults, Biosatanic Brood Surge, 3 Abominates, a Patriarch, Biophagus, 5 Acolytes with pistols, 3x5 Acolytes with hand flamers, 10 Neophytes, 3x5 Aberrants, to, of course, go with the 3 Abominants, 10 Metamorphs, 10 5 Pure Strain Gs, that being Gene Stealers, 2/1/1 Ridge Runners, a single Goliath truck. And I might get you to unpack a little bit of that for us in a moment, Dustin. Because to me, I know what it looks like and I know what it does, but the people at home, it's probably going to be like punchy GSC. I mean, it is very good. It is drop and go GSC, which is pretty nice. Next up, we have Grey Knights, Teleport Strike Force, of course. Crow, yes. my man Russell Crowe making it in there, fighting around the world. Drago and a Grandmaster on foot, and this Grandmaster has a sigil of exigence. 5 Terminators to get either Drago or the Grandmaster. 5 strikes. Only 2 Dread Knights, but then he's got 10 Paladins, 10 Purifiers to go with Crow and just be an absolute nuke to anything that doesn't have a 2-up armor save, and then 10 Sisters of Battle and an Immolator for a bunch of sticky little shenanigans. I love this list. I think this list is excellent. Then we have an Astra Militarum combined detachment. For some reason, he's got a Commissar in there. Can't tell you why. He's got a Tempestus Command Squad, 3 Tank Commanders, and Ursula Creed, 10 Cadians, 10 Catachans, 10 Infantry, and 10 Scions. It really, really, really annoyed me having to type all those out. Couldn't just been 3x10 Catachans, you bugger.
Power pieces, diversity everywhere.
He's trying to be Highlander for star points. Chimera and a Taurox, single Hellhound, 10 Kasrkin, Lehman Russ Exterminator, 5 Rattlings, 2x1 Scout Sentinels, and 2x10 Tempestus Aquilons. We have a Sisters of Battle Hallowed Martyrs, so not Bringers of Flame. Canoness with Jump Pack, Triumph, Immolator, Rhino, 2x10 Arco Flagellants. First time in a long time. Only a single Castigator because he's skewed the Castigators to go for 10 Dominions, but here's the trade-off, triple Exorcists. And then a unit of 2 and a unit of 1 Penitent Engines. Second to last, we have Adeptus Custodes, Shield Host. This is Horde Custodes. It's about as Horde as I've ever seen it. A single character in a Blade Champ, 3 units of 4 Custody Guard, a unit of 2 Alaris, 3 Aquilons, which are the Forge World Terminators, a unit of 4 Wardens to go with the Blade Champ, 3 units of 3 Venatari, and then 3 units of 4 Sisters of Silence Witch Seekers. It is a go wide Custodes list, which is like probably one of the
no rhinos and stuff. Like
no transports, no nothing.
Did you just call the Custodes list a Horde Custodes list?
Yeah.
There's 13 models.
Do you know what a Horde is?
Hey, if you add up all the wounds...
As a GSC and Tyranid player, I take offense to that Horde call.
No, that's as Horde as Custodes get.
Sure.
Right?
I like the wide. I like the wide way of saying it. The go wide Custodes. That makes sense to me.
Go wide.
Go wide.
I think it's cute. I think it could actually be quite good. It's especially good, I think, in differential in teams, where you can just double, triple saturate objectives and just lock people out of the primary. Then lastly, we have Adeptus Mechanicus Rad Zone Core. So not Skutari Hunter Cohort. It's got Call, 2 Manipulus, Techno-Archaeologist, 2x10 Rangers, no Vanguard, which I found very interesting. A big unit of 6 Breaches, a unit of 10, unit of 5 Skystalkers, and then 10 5/5 Sterilizers, 5 Infiltrators, 2x2 Ballistari, a Scorpius and Disintegrator, and a Dune Rider. There is a lot of off meta in this 8-pack, like a lot.
Dorian asked in chat, is like, what is the list called when it's only 2 of each unit? I'd like to propose Deuces Wild.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Nice one. Nice.
So the Marine list is off meta because it's not Blood Angels, Blood Angels or Dark Angels. The Tyranids, is on meta for teams. The Gene Stealers are on meta for teams. The Grey Knights is an off meta build, but works in teams. Even the Astra Militarum list, outside having 3 tank commanders, the rest of it is and like some Aquilons and Scions. The rest of it's pretty wonky. I don't get why he's got a Taurox, maybe just for points, 10 Kasrkin, whatever, and then all the differential in all the infantry squads. Then of course we've got off-meta Sisters in Hallowed Martyrs rather than Bringers of Flame.
The Taurox back on that's a special rule or something. And isn't there some kind of special rule?
Yeah, you get to disembark after advancing. With the Taurox, and it goes a little bit faster, I believe, than the Chimera, if I remember right. I think it might go 14 inches.
I think it goes 12.
I think the Chimera might go 10. It goes 12. Yeah, let me just double check that for us. But yeah, they're pretty much off meta, like they're off center on the meta down the board, which is, if you know Poland, that's their MO. They will very, very rarely take meta builds. They will take meta factions and then take something to skew your perception of what they do. And that's why they're one of the best teams, the best nations in the world at this. Yeah, once again, off center Adeptus Mechanicus. So they're still taking the bird jail list because there's still so many sterilizers and skystalkers, but they're rad zone core. So the premise here is that instead of trying to hold you off the primary, they're going to hold you off the primary while holding you in your deployment zone, so you get battle shocked more and you take more mortal wounds from the rad zone. So I think that's quite cute, but it does kind of predicate you on going first, because of course if your opponent goes first, they just get the hell out of their DZ. And
not every army can do that though.
It's true. It's true. Like you play someone like Death Guard, and then they, because of course they won't have the new detachment at this one. They'll be like, "Well, I wish I had Scout 5." Lol.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can get an advantage on half the armies you play, then you have to hope for half the advantages, to go right your way. I guess, right? Is that
it is a team event.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and Poland is one of the best pairings nations in the world as well. So you got to assume. Now, one thing I haven't looked at an Aquilon custodian in 2 years. I've got no idea what they do. So
KR point out that's a weird choice. Maybe the 50 millimeter flame bases and the flamers giving an advantage. That's what they're suggesting.
Yeah, because I mean that is a thing that custodians don't have. They don't have a kill your, because I mean, of course, you play against guard, play against like I said, Adeptus Mechanica, stuff like that, or they're going to use these small utility units to just wall you off and keep you off the middle of the table or keep you from applying pressure. Adding 3 Aquilons with fire pikes, I don't remember if they got fire pikes, I might look it up in while someone else is talking, but just 3 D6 strength 6 AP 1/1 damage, ignores cover torrent guys might be enough that stuff like Aquilons aren't as big a problem. Stuff like, what's the rapid ingress, or people that want to just move and chuck a unit of guardsmen in front of you to slow you down. You can just overwatch into death. Their abilities is each time model this unit makes a range attack that targets the closest eligible target, reroll a wound roll of 1. So, they are wounding Aquilons and guardsmen on 2s, rerolling 1s with
auto.
Yeah, just auto wounding. And then once per battle, at the end of your opponent's turn, if this unit not within engagement range of one of my enemy units, you can remove it from the battlefield and place it into strat reserve. So same as the other Terminators, the Alaris. And yeah, so that is a lot of spice. We could spend the whole show just unpacking the weirdness
of why this list, whatever. But at the point, why? We got to answer who, or what is going to win this. And we pick, in this instance, at the end of every analysis of a tournament, we predict which faction is going to come away with a win, or in this case, with a team tournament, the highest battle points.
So this is the first possible scores for December, because naturally 7 days ago we were still in November. So who's going to get on the board first? Whose cuisine will reign supreme? I have a dice here. I will roll it on camera.
Might as well just say Adam gets the pick first.
You have such little faith.
I wanted exactly a 3. I'll pick first.
Exactly a 3.
Yeah.
So Paul's called the 3. So Paul's 5 and 6. Dustin can be 3 and 4. I'll be 1 and 2.
No, just a 3.
That is a 3.
I can't.
See, it's
Okay. I thought you meant a 3 on the D3.
No, I meant the actual result of a 3.
Paul gets the pick first.
Paul obviously
gets that.
Did call that. All right, Paul, what do you want?
I didn't have an answer in mind. I have to go.
Too focused on being correct.
I know. I had to I'm going Astra Military.
Yeah, cool. Dustin, you're up next.
I'm gonna go Tyranids.
Oh, some good calls here. Oh, you got leaving me much, boys?
I want there to be a 72 warrior list there, and I want it to win. I know.
Well, they wanted the new detachments, right?
That's sad.
Yeah. Because of course this is 8-player teams. They would have put their lists in 2 weeks ago.
That's sad.
I'm going to go Sororitas.
Oh, good choice.
I mean, they've still got 6 players in attendance, so the numbers aren't bad there. And one of them might just flat check bully, with Exorcist to the win. So here we go.
Next event we're going to be talking about is the Feliz Exterminatus 3. This is in St. Robert, Missouri, here in the U.S. 98 players, 6-round event. Dustin, what are we going to see there?
We'll be seeing in the Imperial Superfaction there are 4 Sisters of Battle, 2 Custodes, 2 Admech again, 8 Astra Militarum again, 3 Grey Knights and 4 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 9 Adepts and Astartes, 1 Dark Angel, 3 Space Wolves, and 3 Blood Angels. Chaos, there's 4 Chaos Space Marines, 2 T-Suns, 7 Death Guard, and this is in Europe. 2 World Eaters.
Missouri.
Europe. Yeah.
2 World Eaters, 4 Demons, 6 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 6 Necrons, 4 Orcs, 2 Tau, and 7 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 8 Tyranids. Is the Hive Fleet, is it here? It's everywhere.
It's everywhere, man. All around us.
3 G-Sealer Cult. And then Eldari, there's 2 Eldari. No Drukhari at all, which means the faction podium. Adepts Astartes with 9, topping it off. Tyranids and Astra Militarum in second with 8. And then Votan Death Guard with 7. So the top 2 spots, the same at both of these events. This is a single
and the same
and teams.
The same numbers.
Same numbers.
So there's 96 and 98 players, and then both faction podiums go 987.
Crazy.
Yeah, who could have predicted such a thing? Votan and Death Guard are the spice here.
That's amazing.
Both making the podium is absolutely spectacular. I do believe we're going to have to call it Missouri, France, because this feels like the Europeans meta right now. As analysts of the meta, different regions have different flavors. Death Guard is like a European faction. A Death Guard and Grey Knights. Grey Knights, Scandinavia. Like for years, there was more Grey Knights in Scandinavia than like most of the rest of the world put together. And now it's kind of switched over to Death Guard, where everyone else was like, dropping off Death Guard, a couple of numbers here and there. Death Guard would make podiums consistently in some European nations. And now they do in Missouri. But the numbers here are pretty spicy. So Tau is once again well down. So only 2 Tau in attendance here. So in both events that we've covered so far, the Tau numbers are pretty low. I am super surprised by the Space Marine delineation. 9 vanilla Astartes. I shouldn't say vanilla. 9 Codex compliant Astartes, but only 3 Space Wolves, 3 Blood Angels, 1 Dark Angel, no Templars. Anybody got any ideas? What's going on there? People just like desperate to play their Gillimans.
I was about to say, is Gilliman in any of those lists?
I don't look at them
Because
I got that kind of time.
They're just so. I mean, they really are take all comers, and you got some tricks in them. So
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, let's be real. Gladius is arguably, no, I'm not even going to argue. It is the best attachment they have, and vanilla Astartes just have the most flexibility in terms of what they can do. Obviously, you can skew a bit more with other factions in there, but Gladius is just the best, and vanilla lets you do whatever you want.
I'd go one step further than that. I'd say Gladius is the best all-comers detachment in the game.
Whoa, okay. Yeah, no, you know what?
I think it is.
Yeah, no, that's a fair statement.
I thought that was some time. It's the most all-comers detachment in the game. It can kind of do everything. Everything is at your fingertips, and it's just up to you to get it right. Yep. But if you had told me that this event would have more Grey Knights than Tau, or more Grey Knights, or more Adeptus Mechanicus than Dark Angels, would not have believed you.
Votan, more Votan than all of them.
More Votan, exactly right. More Votan than all of them. Is really quite spicy over in Missouri. And not too surprised by the emissions here. The one big emission, of course, being Drukhari, because they're still putting up relatively good numbers. I did a stats-based tier list, and I was surprised they weren't in like D tier, with the perceived nerfs of the populace. And it's nice to know that those things don't always line up. But we have one list for your viewing pleasure. The man with one of the greatest names in all of 40K, Bam Bam Hunter.
Good dude. He's a friend of mine. Yeah.
He's a sweetheart, and he's a delightful man. He's playing his Space Wolves as he does. He has a Stormlands task force. And it's been interesting to see how this list has evolved over time, which is one of the reasons I wanted to highlight this. Because as we know, getting the 3rd unit of Thundercav into the list fully buffed, because it's kind of not worth taking unless you can put like 2 characters in there. I've seen some people try and experiment with only putting the 1 character in there, and then they find that it's only really good for like tying things up rather than kill deathing them. But he's got his Stormlands task force, so advance and charge all the way around. He's got Bjorn and Logan. Logan's on foot. 2 Wolfguard battle leaders on Thunderwolves. 2 Wolf Lords on Thunderwolves, one of which has Fury of the Storm. 2x5 jump pack intercessors. A single ballistas dreadnought, because you've got to kill transports. 5 infiltrators, 5 scouts. Of course, 2 units of 5. Should be 2 units of 6, Thundercav, my bad. And then 2 Vindicators, which is what they have chosen to put in their lists in lieu of the 3rd unit of Thundercav, which I think is a great choice. I really like
making their way into lots of lists.
Everything.
Very powerful.
I mean, you and I said this a couple of weeks ago at World Champs, Paul. We were walking down like a ladder, or a staircase or something, and I can't remember if it was. I think it was you. You just threw out and you'd be like, "Would you have ever thought that 10th edition would be Predators and Vindicators?" And we were like, "No, man, no, it wasn't on my bingo card. It was not on my bingo card, but here we are." I love what this list looks like now. The single ballistas to 2 Vindicators give you the long range fire support, lets you pop the transports, which can become problematic at times, especially running into things like Hecaton land forts, which is going to happen at this event because there's 7 Votan. In addition, it gives you some payback, so to speak, if you go second into things like Tau, because one of the biggest issues if you go second into Tau, of course, on so many boards, you can't really hide 2 gigantic units of Thundercav on those 60 mil bases, and so they just get double and triple riptided into oblivion. So I do think the Vindicators make a lot of sense here, and I think this is a fantastic list. Bjorn for the, if you play into the mirror match, like you play into World Eaters, you play into Blood Angels, you bubble up around Bjorn, and it gives you the extra CP aura, so people have to pay to try and use CP to break through your Thunderwolf units, and then he's a bit of a beater himself. So I like Bjorn's inclusion here. And then of course Logan is something you deep strike in your opponent. It's so funny. Chapter Master of the Space Wolves runs solo and gets deep struck in the backfield for behind enemy lines.
And I love it. He's so he's not lone up, so he's just like, you know what, just going to show up and dare some people to deal with you.
Well, it's funny because we're getting a couple of characters that do similar things like that, because Typhus is starting to have the same identity as Logan, where Typhus just runs solo and gets bombed in the back to just be like, bam, mortal wounds, and I'm coming at you, and I'm actually really annoying to shift. Whereas Logan comes down, gets you a couple of points, and then he screams real loud, and everyone gets +1 attack and reroll the charge. On the table. Everyone on the table. Like, he just screams that loud. He screams 72 inches loud.
It's a howl. It's a howl.
It is. Yeah. All right. Time to pick us some winners. And I went last, so I will go first. Ooh, we'll go Astromil. And then we'll go Paul.
Oh, me?
Yeah. We rotate. Everyone gets a chance to pick first.
Let's go with Votan.
Not bad. Good choice.
Spicy.
Dusty, the NIDs are available.
I know, but I don't want to do all NIDs this week, so I'll do Adeptus Astartes.
Easy done, lads.
Next event we're going to be talking about is the Fight Before Christmas from Upper Hutt, North Island, New Zealand. 50 players, 5-round event.
Run by the gorgeous Steve Joel as the TO, who's also playing with him, running his knights. He's absolutely stunning Imperial Knights army. Yeah,
seeing a picture of those knights over the years has been great, and also a great member of the community, Steve, as well. So
legend.
Cool giving back with this tournament. That's what it seems like, or is that's what you mentioned? And what are we going to see there, Dustin?
We will be seeing for the Imperial Super Faction 3 Sisters of Battle, 1 Custode, 3 Astra Militarum, 1 Admech, 3 Grey Knights, and 2 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 4 Astartes, 2 Dark Angels, 1 Space Wolf, and 2 Blood Angels. Chaos, there's 3 Chaos Space Marines, 4 Death Guard, 3 World Eaters, 2 Demons, and 3 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 2 Necrons, 2 Orcs, 1 Tau, 1 Votan. Highbind, there's 3 Tyranids, 1 Genius Cult, and Eldari. There is 3 Eldari. I mean, the faction podium is Adeptus Astartes and Death Guard, tied with number 1 at 4. Nids, Eldari, Chaos Knights, World Eaters, CSM, Sisters, Astra Militarum, and Grey Knights tied in second with 3, and then just 2s everywhere.
Everything
else is Deuces Wild.
Deuces
Wild. Oh, man, I love that. It's going to catch on. Look, 50-player events, you see this a lot of the time. It's interesting to see so many 3s. instead of seeing like a couple of 5s, which usually you would expect in a meta that is somewhat solved. And I think this speaks to, I love getting this snapshot of some of the, because usually we restrict ourselves to like 70, 80 players plus because we're so spoiled and we get to chase more of the meta by chasing bigger events. But of course, it's one of our meta operandi to cover as many corners of the globe as we can each episode. And so they got a 50 player in lower hut, upper hut. Sorry.
Upper
None
hut.
None of that lower
Is
hut.
there a lower
like,
hut?
Probably. I don't know. None of that lower hut riffraff. We don't stand for that around here.
Sure, they're very respectable folks.
Yeah, I'm sure they're lovely. But this just shows it's a very unsolved meta where it's kind of a general's choice. You can kind of do well with everything. And I think you've been a big proponent of that yourself, Paul, saying that judiciously on streams. And this is a testament to it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, I mean, that's what the numbers say. I mean, that really seems to be what the numbers say. I mean, you've got skill of the pilot, you've got a wide diversity in list choices, and it seems like it's shaken out like this over and over and over in tournaments. So it really is kind of a brewer's choice. Like when going back to the event with Poland, it's like like that's brewing within this meta. That's still whatever. It's a cool time to be a list builder and player for Warhammer and as well.
Agreed.
But seeing this just with this broken out on all the factions here, like see there's a big chunk of those 3s there, and not seeing those in the 5 or 6. So it's not everyone shifting or running to one particular thing because they feel like that's their only way out or their only chance to take home the gold. They can play what they want.
And we get the second Death Guard podium. The second Death Guard podium for the week, and Death Guard are just popping off. It would seem they were ranked as an A tier faction in, like I said, in the stats based ladder I just did, and the numbers are showing it. People are flocking to the Death Guard because there is stuff there.
Because they have predators.
They got predators, baby. They don't have Vindies. They have their spicy Vindies, which is worse than the Vindies for some reason. All right, but top player in attendance, Finn Decker, the WTC Team New Zealand captain for 2024. So this year's team captain. Not sure. Pretty sure he's going to be going for captain again, but we'll see if he retains it. He's bringing his Adeptus Sororitas, and he has decided to spend.
I think we have a typo in the.
Where? Oh, bringers of lame. No, that's not a typo. Finn's a good mate of mine, and I know he may watch this. So I just want to give him a little jab. So we have, and Finn's decided he just wants to spend all the points on characters, just like all the points on characters, because he's got Triumph, Celestine, and Morvenvale. Someone in the chat do the math. Tell me how many points in characters that is. He still has a Dialogus, 2 Immolators, which will get 2 units of Dominion split up into them, 3 Castigators, 3 Paragon of Warsuits, and 2x5 Seraphim. And man, this list looks very tight. So I know Finn is an exceptionally good player, and this to me looks like a confidence list. This looks like a player that's very confident with what they're doing, and because you don't really have much to mess around with. Yeah, you got three good, really good tanks in Castigators, and you got one of the best units in the game in Morvenvale and the Paragons, even though it is like 400 and whatever points. But then outside that, you just have Dominions and Seraphim. That's pretty much it. You got to play pretty tight to the line, and not really
meaning that you have to always be on the upside of getting your objectives, your secondary objectives, and then keeping your pieces to continue to get that in the subsequent turns.
You can't really throw anything away. Like everything has to be going out and getting points for its return. You will have 4 units of Dominions, arguably, and 2 of those will be no weapon, nothings, go and die for the Emperor, and 2 of them will have all the special weapons. But still, like compared to where we were, one of the reasons I wanted to highlight this is because man, it feels like since Sisters Codex came out, it feels like they every 3 months they lose like 2 or 3 units from their army. Just like it just the number of lists in their list gets like yeah. Did anybody figure out how many points there are in characters?
780.
Lazy chat.
I wasn't looking
lazy.
Good.
So you calling 780? Let's call it. All right, let's guess it.
540.
What do you want to go, Dustin? 540? No way. So you went 780, you went 540. I'll go 690. Nice.
Real time math. It's exciting.
Let's do it, because I know the Triumph is like 250 or something now.
That's where it got me. So I think the Triumph is a bunch of points, and then more points.
More than Vile is a hell of a lot of points, and they got the Dialogus in there as well. So I've got 2 of those up. Let's get the
Don't forget Celestine.
Morven File and Dialogus.
And while you're mathing,
here we go.
Chat. Erwin said good day, Adam, earlier.
Good day, mate.
I believe is a fellow Blood Angel fan.
He absolutely is. A beautiful Blood Angel painter as well. All right, someone get a calculator out or just do the math in their head. 250 for the Triumph of St. Catherine.
I was stalling while you did the math.
Man, oh shit, okay.
I got it.
You got it? All right, sweet. 250 plus 160 for Celestine, plus 170 for Val.
Yeah.
Plus 40 for the Dialogus.
See, I didn't know we were including the Dialogist in that, but 620.
That's character.
I said the characters, yeah. How much is it?
620. Close without going over?
Just would have been closest going over, but Adam, you would have been closest without those rules.
All right, we didn't stay as close without going over, so I think Dustin gets a point. All right, Dustin, you're on the board for this month.
Yeah.
Paul, you get a point also for the dice roll thingy because that was funny.
I'll take it.
You nailed that. That was pretty good.
He called it. He called the dice. It's like a 3.
I have a gift sometimes.
Exactly a 3, and bang, we got a 3. All right, picking some winners, lads. Dustin is going first.
I'll take Sisters.
You would.
I did, in fact.
You did. All right, Paul, what do you want?
Oh, you said Steve is playing in this?
Yeah, I was going to say somebody has to pick Knights, right?
Yeah,
I want to pick Knights, but I also want to win this.
What are you saying there?
I'm picking Knights. That's what I'm saying. Imperial Knights.
Imperial Knights. And what is I'm going to go Chaos Knights. Let's go.
All right.
Let's do it. We'll see which
that box set was.
If the spiky or flat knight wins the day.
We prefer smooth.
Whoa.
Not flat.
That is our third event. Now we get to the time where we have a little bit of palate cleanser, where we would spend all this time talking about the crunchy stats of the meta, who's winning, who's losing, how many points or characters are here and there, spending all that time and all that brain power. And now it's time just to chill out and relax as we work our way into the weekend. This is a segment we call the Fuego Rapido. But before we get to that, I want to point out that, if you're just listening to this and you made it this far, before we disappoint you with this, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit those buttons, interact with the show. That is one way to prove to the aggregators that other people should come and do it as well. If you are listening to us on the podcast stuff, make sure to give us 5-star reviews. Please, please, please. That is a hassle-free way to interact with the show. If you'd like a little bit more hassle, we have a Patreon. We actually do a second show for Tier 2 Patreon subscribers and above, to where we look back at the events that we covered and we see what actually won. We go down the top 10. We see how our predictions turned out. We have some good-natured, encouragement for our other panelists here during the course of that show. But that's an extra bonus show that we do every week looking back. We also highlight the winners of the events as well. It's a cool way it's a little bonus for if you are supporting the show at that level. We really appreciate it. And that is on our Patreon. It takes a whole lot of work to put this show together, and any support on Patreon is awesome. But we do that little extra thing for those extra tiers, and it means a lot that people would do that, and so we're happy to do that. It also gives us an extra opportunity to kind of, let's say, do that encouragement I was talking about to our fellow host here as well. But that's where we talk about who's winning the most points for these predictions, and see what actually is coming away as the meta trends after the fact. Who's busting the meta trends?
I don't like the looks of this. Random.
I don't remember what it is, guys. I'm sorry.
So this is a segment we call the Fuego Rapido, where we put up a clock of 2 minutes per topic. Sometimes these have very little to do with Warhammer.
I guarantee this one does.
At the end of those 2 minutes, we abandon the topic, never to return to it again, unless the Patreon subscribers
specifically requested.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. That's the primary thing, or a callback.
Callback. That sounds right. It's just random because there's no theme for this week.
Okay,
So
nice.
let's see what it is. 'Cause I honestly don't know. Next one. Is it spelled OK or OK as in OKAY?
So I don't know if this speaks to my Australian laziness where we have to shorten everything possible, but I've never typed OKAY in my life.
I definitely have. I don't know if it's because I thought it was grammatically correct or...
Well, so you've basically summarized the difference in between how my wife and I text each other. Like, I believe it to be absolutely correct and the most correct to type it out, OKAY. But I'm of the OK variety, or sometimes just KK. You know.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true, actually.
the single K. Like,
Single K. K.
K.
K.
Is there different times when it's more appropriate to do the OKAY? I feel like it's fancier.
If you're being charged by the letter when you're typing out your manuscript or whatever, that's what use an apartment.
Well, mate, I'm pretty sure that's how K came about, because remember when we all had to pay per letter on our SMSs back in the day?
I do.
Our little Nokias.
But I don't remember using K back then, to be honest.
Was it per letter? I thought it was like just 10 cents per message or something.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Back in those early days, like, I remember one of my friends saying, "Never text me because it cost us."
Yeah, why would it cost you money to get a text even if you don't read it? That was ridiculous.
Yeah. And remember when you'd have like your easy time, whatever, and you'd have like that 1 hour during the night where you could just like
oh right, the friends and family time.
Yeah. And you would just I wouldn't reply to a single message until it hit like 7
Till 7 p.m.
Like, that 7 p.m. was just a crazy hour, man.
Yeah.
That was a crazy hour.
It was. In between rounds of Snake.
Yep.
Good times.
That's right.
Good times.
And that was a nostalgic.
If Chad is voting,
it sounds like
OK is winning.
OK, just OK, yeah.
But OK is correct.
All right, next up. Does round or square pizza taste better?
Round pizza.
Round.
Yeah, without a doubt. Hands down, round pizza.
It was real funny. It says the meme that someone was having a go at, like, I think Wendy's in one of their social medias, saying like their square burgers that just seem unnatural. Like,
they do.
And people, they're just like, why? Does like the round burgers like grow on trees or something? It's the same product, just like made into a different shape. But I agree. Square pizza, unnatural. Heathen.
So what is it the Detroit style pizza that you make it intentionally to like crisp the cheese up around the square?
Isn't that like the deep dish style?
No, deep dish can be, but I think Detroit style pizza is a rectangle dish, and you specifically like make it and then put cheese around the side, so while it's baking, the cheese gets real crispy on the side. This is still not better than a round pizza. I'm just saying you could make an argument.
What if they did that on a round pizza though? Can they not do that on a round pizza?
I mean, there's probably some heathens out there doing that to round pizzas.
Heathens. So you shouldn't do that to round pizzas, is what you're saying.
I don't know. Well, if it's Chicago, I think if it's Detroit style pizza, then it authentically would be in that rectangle.
The square pieces in the middle with no crust edge. But is that just your problem with the crust or the shape?
There's no hair. There's no hair on Nurgle Matt's chest. Doesn't use crust.
So if we are going what tastes better, the roundness is what is there's some component of taste in the roundness.
I feel like it holds in the different flavors and toppings a lot better.
It depends how you choose to eat your pizza. So I am
that's interesting.
Fold, bite the front, bite the top.
Sure.
Bite the front, bite the top. And that's how I choose to eat it. Can't do that with a square pizza. Doesn't make sense.
It depends on how you cut it.
Geographically incorrect.
Geographically incorrect. Oh, now it's geographical.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think
round.
I think round is
without question.
Well, that's 100%. Although chat seems to think square for the most part. Wow.
Get out of here, chat.
Wow. Okay. Did not see that coming.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'm prepared to alienate their audiences. No, absolutely not. But I think that round, there is something about just that round pizza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up. Which Mario Kart character are you?
This is hard.
I mean, so some days I'm a Mario, some days I'm a Toad.
Are you talking about like original like Super Nintendo or like all the way through? Or are we gonna say like this is the one that I would kind of go to if they're in the game?
I'm playing up until Game Boy Advance. That's
Whoa,
right.
not very long then. You know, there's been a lot more Mario Kart since then, right, Paul?
Well,
It's all the
you
same.
didn't specify that in your question. Like
Hey,
in 2017.
Listen,
Oh,
listen.
what?
Sorry.
I mean, 2017. I might have been a Bowser. I don't know. It's like
Bowser was fun.
So here are things I don't understand.
Okay.
Why? So I've played old and new Mario Karts. It's the same game.
Yeah.
I've got the same feeling about new Mario Karts as I do as the next FIFA that comes out every year. It's the same freaking game. Once you've played the first one, you purchased, you're done. You're good. You don't need a return. Like, get the joy and move on. I don't understand why we need a Mario Kart every year. Or, well, I know why we need a FIFA every year because
we don't get a Mario Kart every year. What are you smoking?
I don't know.
We get one every console. That's a Nintendo thing. They give us one like their
Red Turtle
standard stuff every console.
Yeah. So I am either a Luigi,
really,
because I was always player 2.
Oh right.
When I was growing up,
I remember
I always had the second. I always had the second console, the crapper side of the split screen. That was me. That was my spot. I was Tails in Sonic 2. You know. Had one level of shining moment where you got to fly Sonic, the only guy who matters, up to the Death Egg and stuff like that. And apart from that, I had nothing to do with my life. So, Luigi, sometimes I like to play Bowser or Donkey Kong.
Okay. Going with the newer ones, I really like Wario.
Wario.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Sorry, I did go through a phase of Luigi or Waluigi. I was just like, whichever one of those I felt like.
The evil Luigi.
The Waluigi one, that was a stretch with that name. That was weird. Still is.
Oh, Wario is fine though.
Yeah, Wario's fine.
Totally fine.
Wario's fine. I get Wario. Waluigi, like that's not even a play on it. That's just I can't. Yeah, that's another topic. That's another fuego. All right.
Is the next one going to be which Smash Brothers character are you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Well, actually, maybe it is. I don't know. Let's see.
It's next week.
Do you have any loyalty to a specific clothing brand?
I used to. In a vainer time of my life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a vanity thing, though.
It was just a vanity thing.
Which brand was it?
I was called Roger David, and it wasn't very good. But it was the first time in my life that I'd had like money to buy my own clothes because I spent a lot of my early years in hand-me-downs. And so, it was just like I got to have my own things, and I dressed like a fool, like so bad. But as we do, you know. These days, I got I shop at a place called Connor pretty regularly in Australia because they do have decent shirts. Most of the shirts you'll see me wearing on stream are from that shop, so I guess that's the most loyalty I've got.
Well, that's pretty loyal then. I say that's pretty loyal.
So not like shoes. I'm big into shoes. So tennis shoes, Nike, not sponsored. Boots, Red Wing. My favorite pair of boots is Red Wing Iron Rangers. And if I get another pair, it will be another pair of those. So mostly shoe loyal, but otherwise I can kind of just go with whatever is the most comfortable,
right?
Or and functional for what I need it to be. I'm not saying practical, functional for whatever the role needs it to be.
That's the big thing. It's functional, right? Because I don't know if I have any real loyalty. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I've gotten to the point that I only buy Under Armour for my workout stuff now.
Oh yeah,
because I really like how it feels and how it breathes. Yeah, so I think actually, if I look at my workout like wardrobe, it's all Under Armour. Probably not by mistake.
Fair.
Probably. We got some Adidas,
for me,
Levi's, Nike, Carhartt hats. Never heard of that one. But it seems like KR has a lot of loyalty, so good on you for having a loyalty to your brands, buddy.
You find something that fits and works and quality, and
that's what you want.
So what was that? What was the paired list thing again, Paul?
Oh, Deuces Wild.
Deuces Wild.
Deuces Wild. That could be a clothing brand.
That should be a clothing brand.
Yeah.
Is that our last one? Is that our last topic?
There's one more.
All right.
What has ruined more friendships, blue shells or Uno reverse cards?
So we are dealing with the A tier, not the S tier of ruined friendships.
Yeah, it's gonna be draw fours. And
no, I was going to say it's Monopoly.
Okay, that's don't ruin it.
That's the S tier of our friendship is over. But yeah, blue shells or reverse cards. I think blue shells. Blue shells. Yeah.
Are blue shells the one that seek you whoever's out
whoever's
first?
Yeah.
Whoever's first just gets nuked. Just gets de-weaponed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's blue shells. Because you know what the worst thing so Uno reverse card, is a quick activation. The worst thing is when you're playing with your mates. Worst thing was you're playing with your mates, and the person who's last, who has no chance of winning, tells you who was in first. Hey, Adam, guess what I got?
Guess it's coming your way.
And then you just know it's on its way. And you're like, oh no!
Hey, you know what's the worst too? It's actually in most of the Mario Karts, if you're in first when it's fired, doesn't matter if you're not in first anymore.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You're just getting hit now. You're getting de-weaponed.
Yeah. Yep. I reckon it's the blue shell.
Yeah.
I've thrown controllers over blue shells.
Have you?
Yeah. I was a far less restrained human being in the past.
You're getting Luigi blue shelled in first place. He's like, done.
Yeah. I'm out.
I'm gonna go play Tails without you guys. You know what? I'm gonna be Sonic. I'm gonna be Sonic and see how you like it.
I'm gonna be either. I'm gonna be Knuckles. I'm gonna put the one game inside the other game because that was the coolest thing ever, by the way, back in the day. Do you guys remember that?
I do.
Sega Mega Drive, Sonic 3. You used to play as Knuckles, and you used to be able to open up the thing and put Sonic 2 into it and play Knuckles in Sonic 2.
I did not have that system.
Were you a Nintendo household?
Yeah.
Fair. It's a good time. I was a Sega house.
I had both.
There you go.
Look at this fat cat. Look at this.
Well, it's because my parents were divorced, so I had Nintendo at my dad's and Sega at my mom's. How do you feel now?
Well done. No, I say well done. Smartly done there, sir.
Yeah.
I tip my hat to such ingenuity.
That's right. I may have been young, but I was
savvy.
Resourceful.
I was resourceful.
Well, good. I'm glad we got this. This is a good one. I wasn't sure where this Fuego was going, but nice one there, and great chatting with y'all. That is our show this week. It's been a pleasure sitting around and talking about the meta and what is to be, and just continuing to kind of report that things are pretty good out there for players. It is a brewer's paradise, and it could be anybody's game. Whose game is gonna be? Well, you got to check it out in the part 2 of the show.
You got to say right now it's a messy brewer's paradise because no one knows what tomorrow shall bring. Will it be a funny little like Christmassy, detachment, or will it be a game breaker? And the best thing that detachment's had so far this edition.
Yeah,
we shall see.
What a wonderful time to be playing Warhammer. Chat, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. It's an absolute pleasure talking with y'all. Hope you come back next week. We're going to try to keep shows rolling throughout this entire month and going in 2025 strong.
Things go pretty quiet around Christmas time events wise, so we might just have extended fuegos. We might just jump on and do a 20-minute fuego and say Merry Christmas, take care of each other and bounce. But we will take it as it comes, guys.
But do those interactions, please. Hit those 5-star reviews, likes, subscribe to the show. Hit us up on YouTube, leave some comments, please. That is the coolest way to show the algorithms who's boss.
I love that KR knew exactly what I was talking about. Where I was like, it could be the best thing they've ever had. And he's like, that's coming tomorrow, Adam. Shush.
What are you talking about?
Well, y'all have a great rest, y'all. Xenia, we'll talk soon. See everybody next week.
See ya.
Bye.